Legal scholars say he can't do it, but that's not stopping President Trump from pitching a hardline immigration idea.
He wants to ban undocumented children who are born in the United States from automatically becoming citizens. But critics say what he really wants to do is to whip up his supporters ahead of the election with another divisive issue. KCAL9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now with the late details. Dave?
Well, in either case, it's certainly introducing a very controversial idea into the political season. The president says an attorney at the White House told him he could change the parameters of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution through an executive order. And he told Axios on HBO that he's seriously expecting to do that. But it may not be as easy as the president thinks. A week before the midterm elections, President Trump says he could end so-called birthright citizenship with the stroke of his pen.
You can definitely do it with an act of Congress, but now they're saying I can do it just with an executive order.
That would mean overturning a portion of the Constitution's 14th Amendment that says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States.
We're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States for 85 years with all of those benefits. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it has to end.
In fact, at least 30 countries guarantee citizenship to babies born within their borders. And federal courts have generally ruled the 14th Amendment applies to children born in the U.S. to undocumented parents. Now, the president says he can end birthright citizenship by signing an executive order.
It was always told to me that you needed a constitutional amendment.
Right.
Guess
14th
what?
Amendment.
You don't.
You don't.
But USC law professor Sam Ehrman, an expert on constitutional law who clerked for 2 Supreme Court justices, says going the executive order route would likely not work well in this case.
If the president actually tried to, by executive order, change the citizenship laws of the country, there would be immediate lawsuits, and it's hard to imagine that the result would be anything other than courts saying the president was acting without legal authority. And that would mean that the president's attempt to alter people's citizenship status would simply go nowhere.
Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan said the president cannot change current law by himself.
Well, you obviously cannot do that. You cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order.
In 2015, Mr. Trump raised the birthright issue on the campaign trail.
The 14th Amendment, I was right on it. You can do something with it, and you can do something fast.
The debate adds to the president's hardline immigration moves in the run-up to the elections. Now, most legal experts agree that the president cannot change the amendment to the Constitution with simply an executive order. It would take Congress approving any changes, and the chances of that are not very good right now. However, after the midterms, who knows, that could change, and the Supreme Court has certainly taken a turn in a much more conservative direction as well.